hello.
Oh, hello. A living soul, here?
My name is Falk, Inspector Falk. I'm a policeman.
A copper? How exciting. I'm Sally.
Do you know this woman?
Never seen her before. Looks a bit like a snob.
I don't suppose there are pictures of all the cooks who have worked here by any chance.
No idea. Must be ages ago, though, since there was an actual cook here. Ask Bates, he knows everything.
I'd prefer not to ask either him or Lady Victoria.
Then I don't know either.
You and Bates, look after everything here?
Well, looking after. Bates does most of that. He lets me do all the dirty work. Cleaning, cooking, and all that sort of thing.
Isn't that your job?
That's what he says all the time. But being honest, I'd expected something quite different, you know? I mean, a castle with such knobs living in it. You'd expect the odd soiree every now and again.
Or a cute prince.
Well, Charles is off the market now. But anyone under 80 would do this place a world of good. Sometimes it really does seem like a grave here.
What can you tell me about Lewis?
A disgusting man. Ugh. I was hoping when I started he wouldn't be a snob like all the others are here. But he's just as boring and in a permanent bad mood. I never get more than 3 words out of him.
Is Lady Victoria a good boss?
I don't know. Bates hardly lets me talk to her. When I first came here, I made her ladyship a few suggestions on how she might want to redecorate the castle a bit. Just get rid of a bit of the mustiness, you know? Since then, I always have to ask Bates if I want something from her ladyship.
What's wrong with Lady Eleanor?
What could be wrong with her? Snore. Sits around all day either knitting or reading.
Anything else?
She plays piano for Lady Victoria every now and again. In this house, that counts as having a wild party. You know, it's about time I got myself another position.
You want to leave?
Yeah, sooner rather than later. Maybe to a movie or a pop star's house. Somewhere where things are a bit lively, at least.
Can you tell me anything about Samuel's ghost? Apparently it's been seen by a few tourists.
Oh yeah, I've seen it too. Out one of the windows. It scared the living daylights out of me. A gruesome face. I hope I'll never see it again.
Huh. That's true. At which window?
I don't remember exactly. I think it was in the Forbidden Wing.
Forbidden Wing.
Yeah, you know, what's behind the locked door in the hall.
Okay. I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Ah, don't worry about it.
Who have we got here? Huh. This thieving magpie in a raven suit has something I need. Hey, Lewis.
You again? I thought you'd been thrown out.
Lady Victoria gave me permission to have a look around the castle and the gardens.
How nice of her. What do you want?
What can you tell me about the castle?
Nothing. A big, ugly building.
With an overgrown garden.
What have I got to do with that?
Aren't you the gardener?
My garden's a few 100 miles west of here.
In Wales.
That's right.
So you just do the bare minimum here, if at all.
The garden's too big for one man alone, and what's the point in looking after it? This whole place is doomed. The house is falling apart. The lady won't live for much longer, and Bates is as good as dead.
You're hoping that Lady Eleanor will return to Wales when Lady Victoria dies.
Perhaps.
That's a nice car.
Certainly is. The only decent surprise here. I discovered it behind the stables, built it back up from scratch. My father used to work on a car like this, and he taught me quite a bit.
Do you sometimes take it out for a spin? To the coast, for example?
I drive the ladies. They used to still have bloody horses in the stable, but looking after them was too much effort for the old folks. Now, this is the only pair of wheels. But the ladies don't leave the house much at all. Bates usually walks to the village. He says it's good for his health. But every time it takes a bit longer.
You weren't at the coast with the car this morning?
No.
What can you tell me about Lady Eleanor?
If you want to know something about Lady Eleanor, then you better ask Lady Eleanor. She's her own favourite subject.
You mean she's egotistical?
She threw everything away and fled here in a mad rush after Sir Richard died. Who does such a thing?
The castle and the garden in Wales reminded her of her dead husband.
Then she should have thought of the family history. You don't just give up an house where generations have lived and worked.
How did her husband die?
He blew himself up, did all kinds of strange experiments. In the last years, he became obsessed with uncovering the secret of what drove Sir William and his sons insane. He hardly left his lab anymore, and collapsed in exhaustion more than once. Her ladyship was very worried.
Bates seems to be very tired.
He's terminally ill. The doctors say it's a miracle he's still alive. But let me tell you, Bates will kick the bucket on the very same day that Lady Victoria dies. Like a dog that follows its master. I think he just finds it unfitting to die before his mistress.
He says he's worked for the Gordons for more than 70 years and that he knows all their secrets.
I'd believe that at the drop of a hat. No one knows the castle and garden better than him. But when it gets to his own bonds, he's getting forgetful. The loyal soul. That's why they've given him Sally, I think.
I met Sally.
Huh. The only one in the castle who's not at least 100 and starting to decay.
Is she a good housekeeper?
She's lousy.
She often seems to be in trouble with Bates because of that.
He's the one that chose her, and turned away much better candidates.
Why did he do that?
Yeah, if you're worried about being replaced.
Then you chose the worst possible replacement, to stay indispensable yourself.
That's how it is.
Lewis, do you believe in ghosts? Some tourists claim they've seen some here.
Oh, yeah, the reputed ghost. They besieged us for weeks on end after Murray planted that rumour. A whole pack of them completely trashed the garden.
Lady Eleanor said she gave you the option of going back home to Wales, and even offered some money to get you set up.
I don't know what that's got to do with you.
I just find it strange. You desperately want to go back, and are even offered some money, too.
And then? Work as a caretaker in a new bloody housing estate? I've offered more than once to look after the castle in Wales, and keep it in working order. But apparently there's not enough money for that.
So, it's not so much about going back to Wales. It's more about going back to your castle and your garden.
That's right.
What you really want is to turn back time. Unfortunately, that's never been possible. Well, see you later.
Not if I see you first.
An old wooden ladder. It seems to have been used a lot. The rungs are really worn and smooth. The best of British technology. At least it used to be. An old wooden staircase. Probably leads to the stableman's room. Apparently, these things are to blame for the English still driving on the left. If you were to guide your horse with your right hand, you'd run the risk of being squashed between the wagons. The floor here is rain-sodden and very muddy. An ancient well. I can't imagine that it's still in use. Even this place must have a normal water supply by now. Lewis toolbox. Various wrenches, a cloth, a hammer, pliers, all the things you need. Huh. Ralph was talking about a shiny black car. Is this the one he saw? But who drove from the castle to the crime scene this morning? And what were they doing there? A pair of old rubber boots. They're as clean as when they were made, though. Perhaps they belonged to Lewis. A few teaspoons. They're all well polished and lined up in a neat row. I'm just gonna take a spoon. A kitchen range that could really only be found in furniture catalogs of the last century. Coffee grinder is the last thing I'd have expected in an English castle, but it looks really new and unused. Good day, Sally.
Yes?
Lewis seems to take care of his car rather better than the garden.
That's for sure. Ever since I've been here, he's been doing something to it nearly every day. And when he's not fixing it, he's either polishing or driving around in it.
Has he driven it this morning?
This morning? Yeah, he did. I heard him starting it up. You can't help but hear that.
But you didn't see him?
I know exactly what that car sounds like. When he's working on it, he must start it something like 20 times a day.
But you weren't able to see whether or not Lewis or somebody else was driving it?
Lewis is the only one who drives that car.
Okay. Lewis said that Bates selected you for the position, not her ladyship.
Yeah, that's right. There were a few candidates. The cleverest ones made for the exit as soon as they reached the gate. But if I was being honest, I thought that out of those I met, there were a few of them who were better suited to the job than I was. I was a bit surprised when he chose me.
He must have been impressed by your hidden qualities.
Yeah, and so now, all he does is moan about everything. He spends the whole day creeping about after me. Sally, do this, do that, don't do that. Like being in school.
Okay, I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Don't worry about it.
Well, the dishes are well looked after. They can't hide their age. Faded. The plant hasn't been here long. And considering the amount of light it gets, it's not gonna last long either. A basket of knitting gear. Wool, scissors, and that kind of thing. May I...
Some thread?
Yes, please. About 2 yards?
Certainly. Help yourself.
Thanks. Good. Thread is always useful. I took some of the tear-proof stuff. I don't have any. I knotted the spoon to the thread. You're not gonna free that in a hurry. Let's try it. Look at this! A shiny spoon! He doesn't like that at all. I gotta be careful. Ravens have got hard beaks that are as sharp as knives. They can really make a mess of you. Excellent. Angelina's mosaic piece. A piece of mosaic for a spoon. A good deal for me. Now the boots look like boots should. Dirty. Lady Victoria's on the phone. Let's see.
Young man. It's not befitting, even for a policeman to eavesdrop behind closed doors.
I didn't mean to. Pardon me. Were they talking about me? But why should Lady Victoria, of all people, cooperate with the Order? She's got more of a reason than anyone else to want to put an end to the curse. A large double-winged door. It's no different from the others. It's locked. An old-fashioned telephone. Who should I call? It's locked. There's probably nothing special inside anyway. What was going on with that mirror down there in the hall? I really thought I saw Samuel Gordon. I'll probably collapse of exhaustion when this is all over. A pile of towels. Small ones, big ones, nothing but towels. Powder, makeup, and so on. Nothing of any use to me. A lion's head. I think the lion was a symbol of immortality in ancient times. What's that got to do with a bathtub? An a tap. It's running. door is locked. Victoria, would you please tell me what's behind the locked door?
Only an unused wing of the house.
Could I have a quick look in there?
No, unfortunately not. The wing is in danger of collapsing, and that's why it's closed off. For your own sake, keep well away from that wing.
Absolutely. Your domestic help, this Sally...
Ah, have you already met her?
She doesn't really seem to fit in here.
With us old people, do you mean?
She seems to be the exact opposite of Bates.
That's a sharp observation. She embodies everything which is the opposite of Bates. Undisciplined, untidy, unreliable. She gossips.
Perhaps he wanted to demonstrate to you what you have in him.
I know exactly what I have in him. But I also know he's not well. He can no longer care for the house and us old ladies all on his own. I will look for the next domestic help. And it will be someone rather more industrious. Someone who will rarely take the load off Bates.
I'll go and take a bit of a look around.
Of course.
What's behind the closed door over there?
There was a terrible fire here 24 years ago. Samuel's wife, Catherine, lost her life. That wing has been closed off since then. Too many memories, I think.
Did the fire start on the ground floor?
No, on the first floor. The ground floor was mostly spared as far as I know. But even the rooms below those destroyed in the fire remain closed. Bates and Victoria make sure that no one goes into them.
I see. Was anyone else injured or killed?
One of the cooks was there. As far as I know, she wanted to help and was badly burned.
I'm going to have another look around. Goodbye, Lady Eleanor.
It's nice to see another face in this house.
Good day, Sally.
Yes,
Do you know what's behind the locked door in the hall?
I've asked myself that question too. But you can't get a thing out of Bates about it. Once, he got me listening at the door. He gave me such a telling off, like nothing I'd ever known before. He was so mad, he nearly collapsed. He was coughing blood and I had to hold him up. I've been giving the door a wide berth since then.
I've got to find out what's behind that door. The rooms there would be an ideal hiding place for one of the mosaic tiles. Okay, I won't keep you from your work any longer.
Ah, don't worry about it.
Hey, Lewis.
What is it now?
Sally says that you were out in the car this morning.
Sally should keep her nose in her gossip magazines where it belongs.
So you didn't go out in the car this morning?
I said that already.
I don't believe it. Which of the old folks could have driven the car without Lewis noticing? Well, see you later.
Not if I see you first.
no tea and no teapot. An old-fashioned telephone. Who should I call? That's the Gordon's family tree. Almost the same as the one in Wales. That's the Gordon's family tree. That's the Gordon's family. The doors. What an effort it must take to keep this old tiled floor so clean. I can imagine Bates checking twice a day to see if any dirt accumulates in the nooks and crannies in the meantime. It would be better if I didn't make a mess of the floor. A pile? Looks as if the ivy has killed the tree and is now attacking the house. Quite convenient for a burglar. But as long as I'm allowed to roam freely, I'm not gonna start climbing around on the facade. The castle is very beautiful, but, well,
It's slowly falling down, you mean? I'm afraid you're right. And it's not the only thing here that's falling down.
How do you mean that?
The Gordon line. We've lived here in this area for centuries and have shaped it like no one else. Our family is going to die out, Mr. Falk. Soon, there won't be any more Gordons. And the worst thing is, I am no longer even sure that this will be a loss.
You mean because of...
Because of the misery for which some of us are responsible.
I've just realized that if Angelina's right, then this woman is my grandmother. She doesn't seem to know anything about her grandson. Or maybe she does. Her look was somehow strange. I'll go and take a bit of a look around.
Of course.
I don't have any. Really not. A huge metal globe. What? There's some letters engraved in the stone plate on the globe's pedestal. There are names. A whole series of them. Wait a minute. The first name is Maximilian Mortimer Gordon. That's the name from Angelina's notes. Does that mean... I can't hear anything. But the stone slab could be the lid of a secret compartment in the globe's pedestal. And it would be an ideal hiding place for a piece of mosaic. As long as the ladies are sitting in the hall, I can't search for the piece of mosaic undetected. I need to lure them away somehow. She's so... An old, original English teapot. My mom used to have a similar one. Huh. I could ring for tea time. That would get the ladies out of the hall, and leave me to have a good go at the stone slab by the globe.
Don't touch! Please excuse me, but this teapot is very old, and Bates has told me many times that I must look after it carefully. He's just popped down to the village to get some tea. We've run out.
There's no more tea? I didn't even think that would be possible in an English castle.
Bates said that the tea had gone bad. He got rid of it.
Huh. Or he needed an excuse to go to the village. As long as Sally's here in the kitchen, I won't get... Oh, what a mess. Good day, Sally.
Yes?
I noticed that the bathroom floor up there is extremely dirty.
What? Not again.
It looks like boot prints.
I've told Lewis a million times he shouldn't come through the house in his muddy boots. Damn it. I better clean that up before the old git notices it. Otherwise, he'll have me cleaning it again and again and again.
Sally is distracted. Time to secretly take the teapot to the library. And then I'll try to work out where I can get some tea at short notice. There ain't many dishes. Two little metal pots. No. An empty vase. The door is bolted. No. I don't have any. So, the teapot and service are already in place. Now we just need some tea. It'll be dangerous for me in the village. The Order will definitely be looking for me there. But it'd be a good opportunity to see if Bates is trying to alert the Order. I'm gonna have to go back to the village and get some tea. But before I enter the lion's den, I'm gonna take some precautions. It'd be best if I lure the entire Order in the hotel. Then I can walk around the village square in relative peace. Here's a phone.